Hi, welcome. Today we will discuss about the conformational analysis of N-butane. We know that atoms which are bonded through a single sigma bond can able to rotate independent of each other. So here I take an example of an ethane molecule. Ethane is C2H6. Here the black are the carbon atoms and the white are the hydrogen atoms. So if you see the structure, the two carbons are connected through only one single sigma bond. So they can able to rotate independent of each other across the CC bond. So if I rotate the molecule through certain degree, I'll get a different structure. So let us call this as in structure 1 and structure 2. So what's the difference between these two structures? If you observe that the position of the hydrogen atoms are different in space. So I am holding the back carbon and rotate the front carbon to a certain angle and we get a different structure. So these two structures are called as conformers, or they are also called as rotamers, or they are also called as conformations of the molecule. So theoretically speaking, this ethane molecule can have infinite number of possible conformers. So then if I want to define what is a conformer, then so they are stereoisomers because they differ only in the uh, position of atoms in space. So stereoisomers that differ in the position of atoms in space that occurs due to the rotation along the single bond. So these are called as conformers. So then what is a conformation analysis? So as the molecule gets rotated to certain degree, the energy of the molecule will be varying. So conformation analysis is how the energy of the molecule changes due to the rotation along CC sigma bond is called as conformation analysis. So with this, let us study the conformation analysis of N-butane molecule. So all the carbon atoms here are single bond. They are connected through only one single bond. So we can take up the conformation analysis along C1, C2 or C2, C3, or it is also possible to study the conformation across C3, C4 also. But the most interesting will be the to study the conformation analysis across the C2, C3 bond. To study the conformation analysis, we use a Newman projection formula. So let's write the Newman projection formula by viewing along the C2, C3 bond. So let us take the C2 carbon as the front carbon and C3 carbon as a back carbon. So let's the first carbon, so I'm writing here, the Newman projection. So that's a C2 carbon over here and it is connected to two hydrogen atoms. So these two hydrogen atoms are the red hydrogen atoms connected to the second bond, and that is the methyl group which is an orange color. And I write the third carbon with a circle and it is connected to two hydrogen atoms. Let's write the hydrogen atoms. These are the two green hydrogen atoms, and to that same carbon there is one more methyl group, that is the blue color. So if that is the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon is a circle and the fourth carbon is here. So with the same color code I have shown the structure here. In this structure, if you look at the structure, the two methyl groups are exactly backside of each other. And the two hydrogen atoms also, they are opposing each other. So this structure is called as an completely eclipsed structure or totally eclipsed structure. So in terms of dihedral angle, if we speak between the two methyl groups, so the dihedral angle between them is 0 degrees. So in this structure, the two methyl groups are spatially close. So because of this, they experience a strain in the molecule, and this strain is called as an steric strain. Because the methyl groups are somewhat bulkier, so they want some space for the atoms. But because of this larger size and the two methyl groups are exactly opposite to each other, they are experiencing a sort of repulsion. And this strain we call it as a steric strain. If I rotate the molecule by a 60 degrees, I get a different structure. Here in this structure, the dihedral angle between the two methyl groups are 60 degrees and none of the atoms or groups are eclipsing each other, and this structure we call it as an Gauss conformation. And rotating the molecule through another 60 degrees, again the molecule attains a eclipsed conformation. But the eclipsed conformation in this structure and A is different. There the methyl groups are eclipsing each other. Here the methyl group and hydrogen are eclipsing each other. Rotating the molecule through another 60 degrees, we get another structure D. So in this structure, the two methyl groups are exactly opposite to each other and none of the atoms are eclipsing each other. So in this structure, the dihedral angle between the methyl groups are 180, and this is the most stable structure among all this, because the two methyl groups which are larger, they are far away and none of the atoms are eclipsing each other. Rotating the molecule through another 60 degrees, will get a structure E. Again, this is again an eclipsing conformation. So this structure is same as that of the C structure. Only thing is it is like a mirror image of this. Rotating through another 60 degree, we get another structure here. Again, this is the angle between the two methyl group is in 60 degree, and this is again a Gauss conformation. This is also a staggered conformation. Rotating through another 60 degree, we get the original structure. We make a complete 360 degree rotation. So let us see how graphically the energy of the molecule undergoes a change as it gets rotated. So we started with a completely eclipsed structure. So the completely eclipsed structure is the one which is having a large amount of energy, because the methyl groups are close to each other. So they are experiencing a sort of repulsion. So as the molecule undergoes a rotation, for each and every degree, the two methyl groups are started to get bit far away in space. So the energy of the molecule continues to decrease. And as the molecule after 60 degrees of rotation, it attains a Gauss conformation where none of the atoms are repelling each other. So the energy of the molecule has become less. So again, as the molecule is rotated through another 60 degree, the methyl groups and the hydrogen atoms, they are coming close to each other in space. So the energy of the molecule increases. As the molecule is rotated through another 60 degrees, the molecule is again getting a staggered conformation. But in the staggered conformation, the two methyl groups are anti to each other. So this is an anti-conformation, and this is the more stable conformation among all the structures, because the bulky methyl groups are very far away from each other. So again, rotating through another 60 degree, we get again an eclipsed conformation. So the energy of the molecule increases. Rotating through another 60 degrees, again it becomes a staggered conformation, that is a Gauss conformation here. Rotating through another 60 degrees, again the molecule assumes the original structure. So the energy of the molecule is very high. So if you look at this graph, there are peaks and valleys, and all the peaks are occupied by the eclipsed conformations. So let me show here. Here there is a peak, here there is a peak, here there is a peak, and there are 4 peaks. So all are occupied by the eclipsed conformations. The highest point in the peak is, it is a completely eclipsed structure, whereas these structures are also eclipsed, but the eclipsion in this case is due to between the methyl and hydrogens here. So they are somewhat less energetic than the completely eclipsed structure. And the valleys in the graph are the staggered conformations. So among the staggered conformation, here the two methyl groups are spatially somewhat closer. Here the dihedral angle is 60, whereas here the dihedral angle is 120. So there is some sort of repulsion is still there. So that's why the energy of the molecule, that is the energy of the Gauss structures, are somewhat higher than that of completely staggered structure. The energy difference between the different possible conformations can be seen in the graph. The most stable is the anti-conformation. So the difference in energy between the most stable conformation and that of the next highest stable conformation is the Gauss conformation. They differ by energy by 3.8 kilojoules. Whereas between the anti-conformation and the partially eclipsed structure, it will be 15 kilojoules of energy. and the energy difference between the more stable and the least stable anti-structure, here it is 21 kilojoules of energy. So if I write the energy, so all ecliptic conformations will be having an high amount of energy than all staggered conformations. So the complete order is completely eclipsed conformation will be having the highest amount of energy, followed by eclipsed conformation, followed by gauche conformation, followed by anti-conformation. So here the diagonal angle is 0. Here the diagonal angle is eclipsed conformation, it is 120. Here the diagonal angle is 60. Here the diagonal angle is 180. So what it all concludes? So it tells that the more stable conformation is the anti-conformation and the less stable is the gauche conformation. So it doesn't mean that all the butane molecules all the time exist in the more stable anti-conformations. So at room temperature, the thermal energy is high, so the molecules rotate rapidly and can be present in any of the possible infinite conformations. But what we can say is the more number of molecules will be in the more stable anti-conformation.